Welcome back to our channel. Today, we are going to talk about something very important. Something that is silently stopping your English growth. Many people believe that their English is weak because they don't know enough vocabulary, or because their grammar is not strong. But the truth is very different. The real problem is not your vocabulary. The real problem is not your grammar. The real problem is your thinking process. Every time you try to speak English, you first think in your own language, then you translate, then you try to speak. And in this process, you lose speed, you lose confidence, and you lose the moment. That is why, even after learning English for months or years, you still feel stuck. You understand English, but you cannot speak it naturally. You know words, but they don't come out at the right time. And slowly, you start believing that English is difficult. But today, you are going to change that belief. Because in this video, you will learn how to stop translating and start thinking directly in English. And once your thinking changes, your speaking will automatically change. Step 1. Kill the habit of mental translation. Listen carefully. This is the biggest mistake almost every English learner makes. You are not speaking English. You are converting your language into English. And conversion always takes time. Imagine this situation. You want to say something very simple like, I am tired. But what happens inside your mind? First, you think the sentence in your own language. Then, you search for English words. Then, you try to arrange those words into a sentence. Then, you doubt if it is correct or not. And by the time you are ready, the conversation has already moved on. This is why you feel slow. This is why you feel nervous. This is why you stay silent. Now understand this clearly. Fluent English speakers do not translate. They think and they speak. Their brain does not go through a long process. Their brain directly connects thoughts with English words. But your brain is trained in a different way. Your brain is trained to think in your language first. So your first job is not to learn more English. Your first job is to change how your brain works. You need to break this habit of translation. And how do you do that? By creating a direct connection between what you see, feel, and think. And English words. Let's take a simple example. You see your phone. Instead of thinking in your language and then translating, you directly say in your mind, this is my phone. You see water. Don't translate anything, just think. I need water. You feel hungry. Don't think in your language, just say, I am hungry. At first, it will feel strange. Your brain will try to go back to your old habit. It will try to force you to think in your language, but you have to control it. You have to train it again. Think about a child. When a child learns a language, the child does not translate. The child sees things, feels emotions, and directly connects them with words. That is why a child becomes natural. You need to follow the same process, not by becoming a child, but by thinking like a child. Simple, direct, natural. Now let's talk about daily practice. From today, start your morning in English. When you wake up, don't think in your language. Say in your mind, I am waking up. When you go to the bathroom, say, I am brushing my teeth. When you feel sleepy, say, I feel sleepy. These are small sentences, but they are very powerful because you are building a new habit. A habit where your brain starts thinking in English without translation. And slowly, day by day, your brain will understand that English is not something to convert. English is something to think. Step 2. Train your brain with simple thinking. Now there is another mistake that many learners make. When they try to think in English, they try to create big, perfect, complex sentences. And because of that, they fail. Then they feel that thinking in English is very difficult. But the problem is not English. The problem is your approach. You are trying to run before you can walk. Fluency does not start with big sentences. Fluency starts with small, simple thoughts. Very small, very easy, very natural. Think about how a child speaks. A child does not use difficult vocabulary. A child uses simple words. A child says, "I am happy." A child says, "I am tired." A child says, "I want food." Simple sentences, but very clear, very fast, very natural. This is the secret you need to understand. Fluency is not about using big words. Fluency is about thinking fast. And fast thinking comes from simple thinking. Let's take a real example. You are walking outside. Instead of thinking a long sentence like, "Today the weather is very pleasant and comfortable," just think, "Nice weather." You are eating food. Don't create a long sentence. Just think, "This is tasty." If the food is not good, think, "I don't like this." You are sitting in your room. Think, "I am sitting. This is my room. I feel relaxed." These are very small thoughts, but they are very powerful for your brain because they remove pressure. They make thinking easy. They make your brain faster. And when your brain becomes faster, your speaking becomes smoother. Now here is a simple exercise you must start today. Look around you. Whatever you see, describe it in your mind in English. This is a table. This is a chair. I am standing. I am walking. Do not worry about grammar. Do not worry about perfection. Focus only on thinking. At first, you will feel slow. You may stop in between. You may not find words. But that is normal. That is part of the process, because you are training your brain in a new way. And with practice, your brain will adapt. Slowly, your thoughts will become faster. Your sentences will become natural. And one day, without even realizing, you will start thinking in English automatically. That is the moment when real fluency begins. Because now, you are not translating. You are thinking. Step 3. Create an English environment inside your mind. Now listen carefully. If you really want to think in English, you must understand one powerful truth. Your brain learns from what it hears, what it sees, and what it repeats again and again. If your daily life is full of your native language, your brain will naturally think in that language. So the question is not just, how do I think in English? The real question is, how do I surround my brain with English, even when I am alone? Because here is the truth most people ignore. You don't need to travel to another country to create an English environment. You can build it inside your mind. And this step will change everything. First, you need to start filling your day with English input, but not random input, not difficult content, not fast content that you don't understand. You need simple, clear, understandable English. When you listen to English that you understand, your brain starts recognizing patterns. It starts understanding how sentences are formed, how words connect, how ideas flow naturally. And slowly, without effort, your brain begins to copy it. That is how thinking in English starts. Now imagine this situation. You wake up in the morning, and instead of silence or random thoughts, you play simple English audio. It can be a conversation, a short story, a simple explanation. You don't need to understand every word. Just listen. Let your brain absorb the sound, the rhythm, the flow. At first, it will feel like noise, but slowly, your brain will start catching words, then phrases, then full ideas. And one day, you will notice something surprising. Your mind will start repeating those sentences automatically. That is the beginning of thinking in English. Now let's go deeper. Listening alone is not enough. You must interact with English in your mind. This is where most learners stop. They listen, but they don't think. They watch, but they don't respond. And because of that, their brain stays passive. You need to activate your brain. You need to make it work. Here is a powerful method. When you hear a sentence, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what does this mean? Then answer, in simple English. For example, you hear, I am going to the market. In your mind, you say, he is going out. He will buy something. Even if your answer is not perfect, it does not matter. What matters is, you are thinking in English. You are processing ideas in English. You are training your brain to stay inside English. Now let's talk about your daily life. Your life is full of small moments. Walking, sitting, eating, waiting. Most people waste these moments in silence or random thinking. But you can use these moments to build your English environment. When you are walking, describe what you see. The road is busy. I see many people. That car is fast. When you are waiting, talk to yourself. I am waiting. This is taking time. I feel bored. When you are eating, think about your food. This is hot. This tastes good. I like this. These are very simple sentences, but they are extremely powerful. Because now, your entire day becomes English practice. You are not waiting for a class. You are not waiting for a teacher. You are creating your own environment. Now understand one deep truth. Your brain does not care about perfection. Your brain cares about repetition. Whatever you repeat again and again, your brain accepts it as normal. So if you repeat English thinking every day, slowly, your brain will stop resisting. It will stop going back to your native language, and it will start choosing English automatically. At the beginning, it will feel uncomfortable. You may feel slow. You may feel confused. Sometimes, you may even feel tired, but that's a good sign. It means your brain is working in a new way. It means you are growing. And then, one day, something very powerful will happen. You will not even notice it at first, but suddenly, you will think a sentence in English without trying. No translation, no effort, just a direct thought. And in that moment, you will realize you are no longer learning English. You are starting to live in English. This is the power of creating an English environment inside your mind, not outside, inside. And once your mind changes, your speaking will follow, naturally. Step 4. Speak your thoughts out loud every day. Now listen very carefully. Thinking in English is powerful. But if you stop only at thinking, your progress will stay incomplete. Because real fluency comes when your thoughts become voice. Many learners think in English a little, but when they try to speak, they freeze. Why? Because their brain is trained, but their mouth is not trained. And this is the truth you must accept. Your brain and your mouth are two different systems. Your brain can understand. Your brain can think. But your mouth needs practice to move, to form sounds, to speak smoothly. So if you want to stop translating completely, you must start speaking your thoughts out loud. Not sometimes. Every day. Now let's understand the biggest fear. Most people say, I feel shy. I feel scared. I don't have anyone to speak with. But listen carefully. You do not need another person to start speaking. You need yourself. Because the goal is not conversation first. The goal is flow. Start with something very simple. Take your daily thoughts and speak them softly or normally, but speak them out loud. For example, you wake up in the morning. Don't just think, I am waking up. Say it. I am waking up. When you go to wash your face, say, I am washing my face. When you feel tired, say, I feel tired. These are very small sentences, but they are very powerful. Because now, your brain thinks in English, and your mouth speaks in English. This creates a strong connection. Now let's go deeper. During the day, keep talking to yourself. Not loudly like shouting, but clearly enough so your mouth moves. For example, when you are walking, I am walking. The road is quiet. I see a dog. When you are doing any work, I am doing this. This is easy. This is difficult. When you are thinking about something, I need to do this later. I forgot this. I will try again. This is called self-speaking practice. And this is one of the most powerful methods in the world. Now you may think, this feels strange. Yes, at the beginning, it will feel strange because you are not used to speaking alone. But remember this, every expert was once a beginner. Every fluent speaker once spoke slowly, made mistakes, felt uncomfortable. The difference is, they did not stop. Now here is a powerful technique. Choose one moment in your day and speak continuously for 2 to 5 minutes. About anything. It can be your day. It can be your plan. It can be what you see. For example, today I woke up late. I feel a little tired. I have some work to do. I want to improve my English. I will practice today. Do not stop. Do not think too much. Do not translate. Just speak. Even if your sentences are not perfect. Even if you repeat words. Even if you make mistakes. Keep going. Because your goal is not perfection. Your goal is flow and confidence. Now understand this important truth. Mistakes are not your enemy. Silence is your enemy. When you stay silent, you don't grow. When you speak, even with mistakes, you improve. So give yourself permission to speak badly, because bad speaking is the first step to good speaking. Let's talk about consistency. If you do this practice one day, and then stop, nothing will change. But if you do this every day, morning, a little speaking, afternoon, a little speaking, evening, a little speaking, then slowly, your mouth becomes faster, your pronunciation becomes clearer, your confidence becomes stronger, and most importantly, your brain stops translating. Because now, your brain knows. We think in English, and we speak in English. And then, one day, something beautiful happens. You start speaking without thinking too much. Words come naturally. Sentences come easily. And you feel relaxed. That is the moment when you understand. You are not forcing English anymore. You are using English. So remember this simple rule. Think in English and speak those thoughts out loud. Every day, no excuses, no fear, no waiting. Because the more you speak, the faster you become free from translation. And that is the real goal. Not just learning English, but living it. Step 5. Stop waiting for perfect English. Start responding instantly. Now listen very carefully. This step will change your speed. This step will remove your hesitation. This step will break the last wall between you and fluency. Most learners have one hidden habit. They wait. They wait to find the perfect word. They wait to make the perfect sentence. They wait to feel confident. And because they keep waiting, they never speak on time. This is the real problem. Not vocabulary, not grammar. Delay. Now imagine a simple situation. Someone asks you, "How are you?" Inside your mind, what happens? You start thinking, what is the correct sentence? Should I say, "I am fine" or "I am doing well"? Is my grammar correct? And because of this thinking, you become slow. Your answer comes late, and your confidence goes down. Now understand this truth. Fluent speakers are not perfect. They are fast. They don't stop to build perfect sentences. They respond. Simple, direct, natural. So from today, you must train your brain to respond instantly. Not perfectly. Let's start with very simple answers. If someone asks, "How are you?" don't think too much. Just say, "I am good. I am fine. I am okay." That's enough. If someone asks, "What are you doing?" don't create a long sentence. Just say, "I am working. I am studying. I am resting." Short answer. Fast answer. Now you may think, "But my English is not good." That's exactly why you must do this. Because fluency grows from speed, not from perfection. Let's go deeper. Your brain has a habit of slowing you down. It wants to check everything. It wants to be safe. It wants to avoid mistakes. But this habit is dangerous. Because in real conversation, there is no time to think for too long. You must speak in the moment. So you need to train your brain like this. When a question comes, answer immediately. Even if your sentence is small. Even if it is not perfect. Even if it is broken. Speak. Here's a powerful practice. Ask yourself simple questions and answer quickly. What am I doing? I'm sitting. What do I feel? I feel tired. What do I want? I want water. No pause. No translation. Just instant response. At first, it will feel difficult. Your brain will try to slow you down. It will say, "Wait." Think, "Check grammar." But you must ignore this voice, because that voice is keeping you stuck. Now here is another important point. Do not be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are part of speed. When you speak fast, you may make mistakes. That is normal. But when you keep speaking, your brain automatically improves. Your sentences become better. Your grammar becomes natural. Let's understand with a simple truth. A person who speaks slowly but perfectly will never sound natural. But a person who speaks fast with small mistakes will sound confident and real. And confidence is more important than perfection. Now imagine this moment. You are talking to someone. They ask you a question, and this time, you don't translate. You don't wait. You don't panic. You answer immediately. Simple, clear, direct. That feeling, that speed, that confidence. This is fluency. So from today, stop waiting for perfect English. Start responding instantly. Train your brain to react, not to translate. Because when your response becomes fast, your English becomes natural. And when your English becomes natural, you stop thinking about language. And you start focusing on communication. Remember this line. Perfect English is slow. Natural English is fast. Choose speed, because speed will take you to fluency. Step 6. Repeat daily until English becomes automatic. Now listen very carefully. This is the step that most people ignore. And because they ignore this step, they never become fluent. They learn steps, they watch videos, they feel motivated. But after a few days, they stop, and everything goes back to zero. Understand this truth. English is not something you learn once. English is something you build every single day, just like your body. If you go to the gym one day, nothing changes. But if you go every day, slowly, your body transforms. The same is true for your brain. If you practice thinking in English one day, nothing big will happen. If you practice for 3 days, still nothing special. But if you practice every day, without stopping, your brain will change. Slowly, silently, powerfully. Now let's talk about what you need to repeat. You don't need 100 techniques. You don't need difficult methods. You just need to repeat simple things again and again. Think in English. Speak your thoughts. Respond quickly. That's it. Simple actions, but daily. Here's the biggest mistake people make. They do a lot, but not consistently. One day they practice for 1 hour. Then they stop for 3 days. Then again, they start. This breaks your progress. Your brain gets confused. It cannot build a habit. So from today, follow one simple rule. Small practice. Every day. Even 10 minutes. Even 15 minutes. But every day. No break. Let's make it very clear. Morning. Think in English for a few minutes. Afternoon. Speak a little. Evening. Describe your day in English. Night. Think about tomorrow in English. Simple routine. No pressure, no stress. Now understand something very deep. Your brain works on repetition. Whatever you repeat, your brain accepts as normal. Right now, your brain is comfortable with your native language because you have repeated it for years. That's why English feels difficult. Not because English is hard, but because English is new. So what do you need to do? Make English normal. And you do that by repetition. Daily repetition. At first, your brain will resist. It will feel tired. It will try to go back to your old language. You may feel lazy. You may feel bored. You may feel like quitting. This is normal because your brain is changing. But if you continue, something powerful will happen. Your brain will stop fighting. It will accept English. It will start choosing English automatically. And then, one day, without effort, without thinking, you will understand English quickly. You will think in English naturally. You will speak without fear. That day will not come from one video. That day will not come from one lesson. That day will come from daily repetition. Now imagine your future. You wake up, and your first thought is in English. You talk, and words come easily. You listen, and you understand quickly. You don't translate anymore. You don't struggle anymore. That is not a dream. That is a result. So remember this line. Consistency beats everything, not talent, not intelligence, not even motivation, only consistency. Do a little every day. Repeat again and again. Stay patient. Stay focused. Because fluency is not a moment. Fluency is a habit. And today, you start building that habit. Step 7. Live your life in English. Make it your default language. Now listen very carefully. This is the final and most powerful step. Because until now, you were practicing English. But from this step, you will start living in English. And this is the real difference between a learner and a fluent speaker. Most people treat English like a subject. They open it. They study it. They close it. They use it only when needed. And because of that, Their brain never accepts English as natural. It always feels like something extra, something difficult, something outside their life. But fluent people do something different. They don't use English. They live in English. Their thoughts, their reactions, their small daily moments, everything happens in English. Now you may think, how can I do that? I am not in an English-speaking country. Listen carefully. You don't need a different country. You need a different mindset. From today, start making English your default language. Default means the first language your brain chooses, without thinking. Let's understand this in a simple way. Right now, when something happens, your brain automatically goes to your native language. That is your default. You don't choose it. It just happens. Now your job is to change that. You need to train your brain so that when something happens, your first thought comes in English. Not later, not after translation, immediately. Let's take real-life situations. You drop something by mistake. Right now, your reaction comes in your language. But from today, change it. Say, oh no, that fell. Simple, instant. You see something surprising. Instead of reacting in your language, say, ah, wow, that's interesting. You forget something. Say, I forgot. You make a mistake. Say, that was wrong. I will fix it. These are very small reactions, but they are very powerful because reactions are automatic. And when your reactions become English, your brain fully shifts. Now let's go deeper. Start thinking about your life in English, your plans, your goals, your problems, your ideas. Instead of thinking in your language, force yourself to think in English. For example, you are planning your day. Say in your mind, I will wake up early. I will complete my work. I will practice English. You are thinking about a problem. Say, this is difficult. I need a solution. I will try again. You are dreaming about your future. Say, I want to improve. I want to become confident. I will not give up. Now understand this powerful truth. Language is not just words. Language is thinking. Language is emotion. Language is life. When you start living your life in English, you stop learning it like a subject. You start using it like a tool. And that is when fluency becomes real. At first, this step will feel hard. You may forget. You may go back to your old habit. You may feel tired. But that is normal, because you are changing your identity. But if you continue, slowly, your brain will change. Your thoughts will become English. Your reactions will become English. Your speaking will become natural. And then, one day, without effort, without forcing, you will realize something beautiful. You're not trying to think in English anymore. You're just thinking. And that thinking is already in English. That is the final level, not learning, not practicing, but living. So remember this line. Don't just learn English. Live in English. Make it your default. Because when English becomes your default, fluency becomes your reality. Step 8. Become the person who speaks English, not just learns it. Now listen very carefully. This is the final step. Not a trick, not a method. This is a shift in identity. Until now, you were trying to learn English. You were practicing, repeating, improving. But from this moment, you must stop seeing yourself as a learner. You must start seeing yourself as a person who uses English. This is where most people fail. They always say, I am learning English. My English is weak. I am not ready to speak. And these sentences slowly become their reality because your brain believes what you tell it again and again. So from today, change the way you see yourself. Stop saying, I am learning English. Start saying, I speak English. I am improving every day. I can communicate. Simple words, but powerful. Because now, your brain starts building a new identity. Let's understand this deeply. If you believe you are a beginner, you will act like a beginner. You will hesitate. You will stay silent. You will avoid speaking. But if you believe, I am someone who speaks English, then your actions change. You try more. You speak more. You take risks. And that is how growth happens. Now here is a very powerful truth. Fluency is not only about skill. Fluency is about identity. Think about this. There are people who know grammar, know vocabulary, but still cannot speak confidently. Why? Because inside, they still feel, I am not good enough. And there are people who speak simple English with small mistakes, but they speak confidently. Why? Because they believe, I can speak. So what matters more? Perfect English or confident identity? The answer is clear. Now let's talk about your daily life from today. Start behaving like someone who speaks English, even if your English is not perfect. When you think in English. When you react in English. When you speak without fear. When you make mistakes, accept them. Because that is what real speakers do. Now imagine your transformation. At the beginning, you were translating every sentence. Then, you started thinking in English. Then, you started speaking your thoughts. Then, you started responding fast. Then, you practiced daily. Then, you made English your default. And now, you become the person who lives in English. This is not a small change. This is a complete transformation. Now I want you to understand one final truth. You will not feel ready one day. You will not wake up and suddenly feel perfect. Confidence does not come first. Action comes first. So don't wait, don't delay, don't think too much. Start now, speak now, think now, live now. And one day, without even realizing, you will speak English naturally. Not because you forced it, but because you became it. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need big vocabulary. You don't need a special environment. You only need one decision: to stop translating and start living in English. This is your journey. This is your transformation. And it starts now. Before you leave, I want you to stop for a moment. Not for me, for yourself. Think about who you were before this video and who you can become if you actually follow these steps. Because most people will watch this, feel motivated for a few minutes, and then go back to their old habits. But you are not here to be like most people. You are here to change something real. So, don't just close this video and move on. Start today. Start small, but start seriously. Because your English will not change with time. It will change with action. And if this video made you think differently, if it gave you even one moment of clarity, then don't keep it to yourself. There are millions of people who feel exactly like you felt. Confused, stuck, silent. Share this with someone who needs it. And about this channel, this is not just a place where you watch videos. This is a place where you transform your thinking, your confidence, your life. So if you truly want to change your English, not slowly, not casually, but seriously, then make a smart decision. Stay connected. Not because I am asking, but because your future version will thank you. We are not here to upload videos. We are here to build people who speak without fear. So if you are ready to become that person, you already know what to do. I'll see you in the next video.